Recreational pot was available in Colorado on January 1st, and for the most part, everything went smoothly. There were a few issues, though. It turns out that so many people wanted to smoke marijuana on that day that the lines were extremely long. However, the press did cover those lines, and the majority of people seemed like they didn't really have much of an issue. And also, it turns out that the cost of the pot went up significantly as supply went down. There were so many people looking to smoke that these dispensaries just did not have enough. In fact, just to give you an example, for high quality weed, some of the shops were selling an eighth for about $70. Earlier in the day, it was about $25. Now, these are a few of the kinks that they're going to work out, but it's also important to mention that this is highly regulated. There are a number of people that are against the legalization of marijuana, and they'll say, oh, you know what, people are going to get behind the wheel, they're going to drive while they're stoned. No, there are laws against it. A few people have already been cited for smoking in public, so there are rules. But
I like because so they're afraid people will get high and then drive a car.
Yes.
Because people can't drink and then
that never happens.
That never happens.
Or take prescription medicine and some never.
Just marijuana. For some reason, there's something about pot. People want to smoke pot and drive immediately.
Yes. Is it just me though? I mean, I could be wrong here, but I feel like back in the day, I used to smoke a little. I'm not advocating for driving while you're high, but like I was a really careful driver when I was high. Like you go like 20 miles under the speed limit when you're high, right?
Yeah, if you're getting in an accident, you're only going 5 miles an hour anyway. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah.
Like you're so careful compared to I don't know.
It's a completely different drug when you're comparing marijuana and alcohol. Alcohol makes you reckless. Marijuana
makes you a little paranoid. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, who's in that car? Cops, slow down, cops! Everything's a cop. Oh, that's just a ski rack.
No, that's hilarious. So, as we mentioned in an earlier video, Colorado is planning on making a ton of money off of this because it's heavily taxed, I think about 25%. And a lot of these ski resorts want to do like marijuana tourism to lure people in with the pot. Washington also legalized marijuana for recreational purposes, but they will not have these shops open until about late spring. But same thing is going to happen there.
So are there no laws against smoking and skiing?
See, I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, we had that discussion, and there should be. I mean, that might be a little dangerous, no?
Are there laws against drinking and skiing?
Might be fun, but dangerous.
I don't think so, right?
There aren't any laws against
I feel like if you wear a helmet.
Yeah, wear a helmet.
Wear helmets?
You should.
Yeah.
And by the way, those lines outside those stores, right, the long lines, now that's because they did such a heavy advertising campaign. Oh, wait a minute, you don't have to advertise marijuana. Yeah, people just show up. That's the beauty of marijuana, you don't need to advertise it.
The danger here, I think, is that, you know, this article at least pointed out that all of the supply of recreational marijuana was pulled from medical marijuana because they don't have yet in place growers for infrastructure, to grow recreational marijuana. So what ends up happening is that the price is actually being jacked up for everyone, and the medical marijuana patients are kind of afraid, like, is this going to affect our ability to actually get good medicine?
Am I going to be priced out of the market?
Yeah.
That's what they're asking themselves. And I think that's a legitimate concern, but I'm pretty hopeful. I think that now that the state has an understanding of what the demand really is, they can work on the supply, and I have no doubt that it'll happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who have applied for grow licenses and things, and they're all pending right now.
I think, has the Young Turks applied for a grow license in Colorado? Because I think we could fund our next studio.
We have a correspondent in Colorado.
Oh my God,
maybe she could set something up.
I'm not,
That's a great idea.
So my brother's in the construction business, and it was, took a note, and he wanted to open up he goes, I want to open up a pot store in California, and let's do it. And I was like, I'm not the guy to run it, and because I can't. And then, but also they started cracking down on it. So I'm like, but can we move to Colorado? Like, now it's legal in Colorado.
You should move to Washington, though. You should start it because it's going to happen really soon, so you can get in on the ground floor.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm talking. This is it's a license to print money, right? You can sell pot. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh my God! Like, we should really get in on this. Let's get together.
I love how we're making business plans, like on the show.
I bet you we have backers right now on Twitter.
Yeah.
I bet you. Yeah.
I think the amaze is, so obviously they are going to sell out. I mean, granted, it's new. The Xbox One sold out on day one too. But I think that we have to take note that in other countries where they've legalized or decriminalized marijuana, they found that the years following that rates can actually go down.
Smoking rates go down.
Exactly. And so I think this is kind of a win-win whether terrible things happen or not. If nothing bad happens, it's going to be very easy for surrounding states to look at it, look at the $70+ million per year in tax revenue they're going to bring in and think, well, I would like some of that money. I mean, Nevada could do it. But even if terrible things happen, like increased lung cancer rates, we don't outlaw cigarettes.
Well, you have to remember, too, that this is precedent setting. Like, to say other countries that have, like no other countries have. The Netherlands, it's legal to sell pot, but it's not legal to produce it. And only Uruguay has fully legalized recreational pot, but they haven't implemented any plan to do it yet. So really, Colorado is the first market of like freely regulated, but freely regulated
Amsterdam's
marijuana.
going backwards, right? So Amsterdam, you could go there, go to a coffee shop, but now they're trying to limit those and who can participate. If you're from out of the country, you can't participate. So they're going. And by the way, so I did go to Amsterdam, and this is a tip for everybody: you don't have to be high when you're packing to go to Amsterdam. That's not it's not a good idea. It sounds like, oh, get high, I'm going to go to, and then you forget all your shit.
That's hilarious. By the way, speaking of Amsterdam, I mean, this is an ongoing issue where you have more conservative politicians calling for tighter regulation of marijuana, and then they realize, oh, it turns out it might hurt our tourism, and then they kind of, renege on what they promised.
Have they gone back on that? Good.
I don't know what happened with the latest situation, but it is an ongoing cycle in Amsterdam. So I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the near future politicians backed off that idea because they realize, you know what, this is going to hurt our bottom line. Well, it always goes back to money, which is why I love that they legalized recreational pot in Colorado and Washington. As you said, it will set a precedent. I think politicians will realize that there is a huge demand and nothing you can do is going to stop that.
Well, what's really, really funny to me about this specific article, which is a HuffPost article under the third metric banner, talking about this legalization, is that they say over and over and over how heavily it's regulated, how people from out of state can't purchase it, you can't take it across state lines. And the very last line in the article is a quote: "This is quality stuff in a real store, not the Mexican brickweed we're used to back in Ohio," said Brandon Harris, who drove from Lancaster, Ohio.
Hilarious. I don't know. I'm so excited to see how this really plays out, and I think that this will have a domino effect, and it's only for the best. So.
Well, it will have a dominoes effect because a lot of people are going to be.